Hi, I'm Bill Black from Spirit River. I'm here to tie the Adams dry fly. We sell the Adams in a wonderful kit here. Contains all the ingredients you need as well as instructions to tie this Adams. Adams is a very popular dry fly. What I want to do is show you how to tie this fly real quick using our kit and all of our fly tying materials. Spirit River sells a lot of fishing flies as well as materials. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to put the hook in the vise, we're going to tie in your tail using a little piece of moose hair. We're going to dub a body. We're going to have our wings made out of hackle tips right here. And then we're going to wrap the hackle around. So let's get started. I actually have to put my glasses on because I'm going blind. Always make sure your hook is in the vise parallel. I want a little bit of thread base here that the wings are going to sit on. I'm going to take my wing patch here and I'm going to just select two feathers that are alike. I'm going to pop those out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin them so they're backwards. So they're cupped at this angle, and then I can look at them and see that they're about even. And then I'm going to start stripping them back a little bit, lightly. And then I'm going to measure this. Now I can see this wing's a little bit longer. I'm going to change that a little. I'm going to have the wings the same length as the shank of the hook. Right about there. What I do here is I do a real simple tying technique. Thread goes up between my fingers and back down. Critical to get materials on top of the hook. Never let go of that material until you go in there and clip it nice and clean. Okay. What I want to do then is I want to raise these up, lift them upright, and as you can see there's a little bit of hackle material sticking out there, a little bit of fibers. I'm going to go through and do what's called a figure eight, and that figure eight keeps those wings upright and divided. Okay, and then I'm going to go back, oops, sharp hook, cut my thread. Little mistakes like that always seem to happen. It's no big deal. I'm going to go back here. Now again, I've created a little base of thread. I'm going to take a little piece of moose hair. I'm going to cut a few fibers out for the tail. In the moose hair, you're going to see that there's an underfur. It's part of what keeps the moose warm. This hair, generally speaking, is somewhat hollow and buoyant. A lot of people will then take this hair, put it down inside this stacker and stack it. But if you don't have that tool, what you can do is take your three fingers, put them in a triangle, and just tap them against the palm of your hand. Look how nice and straight that is. Okay? Oops. Now I'm going to tie this in again up on top of the hook, go around a couple times loose in that direction, and then I come back on that tail and make it nice and tight. The nice thing about fly tying is when you do this, if you don't like something, and what people don't realize is you can always back up. And I don't like the fact that the tail needs to be about the length of the shank too. That tail was just a little bit long. Okay, next I take a little piece of dubbing. This is fine and dry dubbing. We sell a ton of it. It's different than everybody else's. A very, very fine fiber, and in it we've mixed a little bit of antron, which is sparkly material. Put that on the hook, kind of spread it out a little bit like this, create a noodle, and then put pressure on it and spin it in one direction. I don't go back and forth, I only go one way. Now you can see my tail's flared a little because that hair is a tad bit hollow, so I'm going to work the dubbing back and take a somewhat light loose wrap. And I want to taper this body. I want it to start thin right there at the tail, and I want it to get a little tapered as it goes up, just slightly. Okay, around we go. There you go. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of our hackle. This particular fly calls for one grizzly hackle, which is this, and one brown hackle. And you can set your hackle on top of the hook or under the hook and spin it and see the length of it. You want your hackle to be 1.5 to 2 times this hook gate. So I've already pre-selected those. I've gone ahead and matched a brown and a grizzly up. Okay, and this particular set of feathers I'm going to get 3 or 4 or 5 flies out of. Okay, I strip the base of those and I tie them in. I go back and tie in the rest of that stripped quill, and then I'm going to bring my thread right up to the tip. Okay, now we're going to start wrapping this hackle around. This basically is the legs of the insect. I'm going to go around 2 or 3 times in the back of the fly, and then I'm going to start moving forward. And as I do, I push my hackle forward and then I peel it all back. Each wrap of hackle is right in front of the next. This allows the fly to float better. You don't want to use too soft a hackle in it. Okay, now I'm going to tie it off. So what did I take? 6 or 7 wraps? So as you can see, I've gone around about 6 times maybe. Okay, now it's time to get rid of this hackle. So what I'm going to do is put my thread right down, my scissors right down to the tip of that, and trim it up. And I'm going to get rid of all these loose little hairs sticking out, all these loose little fibers, because you want a really nice, neat head. Almost nip my thread there. There we go. Okay, again, I pull it back, make sure everything's nice and clean. The trick is here now is to take your thumbnail and to push that back a little bit. That gives you an area to create a really nice little head. Okay, when you're done there, you can do a couple half hitches and super glue it like that. Or you can do a whip finish, and it's pretty hard to show you on a video how to do that. Take your scissors, open them up, just saw your thread a little bit, and there. Now, the other point is I want to make is cleaning up a fly after you tie it is darn near as important as tying the fly. Anyway, there you go. You've got wings and hackle that are approximately, the wings are about 2 times the gape. Hackle is about 1.5 times the gape. Your tail equals about the shank, and you've got your body. And your proportions here is about 50% body, 50% hackle and head. And that's how you tie an Adams from a Spirit River fly tying kit. Thank you.